परब्रह्मणे नमः। उद्घाट्य योगकलया हृदयाब्जकोशम् अन्यैश्चिरादपि यथा रुचि गृह्यमाणः यः प्रस्फुरति अविरतम् परिपूर्णरूपः श्रेयस्स मे दिशतु शाश्वतिकं मुकुन्दः। Mukunda, Shri Bhagavan Krishna, got various forms and norms and performs. He incarnated in several forms, starting from Matsya, fish, to Kalki, a warrior. Among those incarnations, 10 incarnations, major incarnations are 10 in number. Narasimhavatara is one. In that form, his half of his body it was lion, and his runda part it was humane. These incarnations in various forms have their own specially designed, assigned role to play. Matsya incarnation got its own role to play. Kurma, Matsya, it went into very depth of ocean because some demons, they could take the whole Vedas and they hid it somewhere. Symbolically we have to understand. So that hidden treasure house, the Veda, it was taken up and protected. When there will be struggle between satanic force and saint force, every time there will be two, saint and satanic. Saint, it is good in nature. Saint, it is good because it is positive in nature, psychologically positive. Satanic, asura, it is always negative. This war, it is every time. Sometime it will be inside, sometime it will be outside. But this struggle between sura, asura, saint and satanic forces always continues. In that type of crunch, Kurma avatar, the avatar takes place. Tortoise incarnation takes place. This Narasimha Avatara, why it is? Because when that satanic forces takes every power center into its hand and rules the whole structure comprising economic, political, educational, religious, spiritual, every walk of life, when it was ruled by satanic force, all other incarnations cannot work. There, a special type of incarnation, terrifying, horrifying, frightening force will be a need of other. That is what Hiranya Kashipu. Kashipu means bed. Hiranya Kashipu. Hiranya means wealth. One who made wealth as his bed. That type of satanic force is called Hiranya Kashipu. Hiranya Aksha. Aksha means eye. One who got that eye of wealth. Every time, everything he looks through that spectacle. Wealth, wealth, wealth. Just like today's politicians. If money comes, he is active there. So that many politicians are active in education now, because education is now very much helpful for making money, minting money. Formerly hotel business and cinema business was like that. So that all those people, they were simply rushing through that spectacle, wealth spectacle, money spectacle. They were rushing to those fields. Now education has come to that place. So all such people, they are rushing to this field, and they run their own schools. Hiranyakashipu was that type of man. Hiranyaksha polluted knowledge system by kidnapping the Vedas, all four Vedas, and keeping it hidden somewhere. He wanted to stop this flow of knowledge. That is one type of demonic force represented by Hiranyaksha. Hiranyakashipu is another kind of man. He always enjoys that wealth. For that he never leaves any stone unturned where money is available in abundance. That type of psyche, it is represented by Hiranyakashipu. So in this juncture, Lord Krishna or Mukunda, Sri Krishna, any different names are there. He takes that that Narasimhavatara to eliminate that satanic force. That is very important. Hiranyaksha was eliminated. Hiranyakashipu also to be eliminated. How much symbolic. Simply we cannot be carried away by these stories. Stories are just, they are symbolic. Just stories we cannot understand. We must go to its depth and understand the implied meaning of all these stories of different incarnations. Today is Narasimha Jayanti celebrated everywhere. Vajranakhaya vidmahe tikshna damshtraya dhimahi tanno narasimha prachodayat. What is that incarnation? He got that Vajranakha. His nail, it is so strong as diamond. Tikshna damshtra, he got that type of teeth, which has that sharp edge to eliminate all devil forces. So with this type of terrific, frightening form, Narasimha incarnates. As soon as he comes in that form, immediately he vanishes. He makes that devil force vanish. Hiranyakashipu was destroyed. Why destroyed? As soon as Hiranyakashipu was destroyed, his own son emerges as the leader of this whole land. He is called Prahlada. Prahlada means Prakrishta Hlada. Hlada means inner joy, inner bliss. Pra means excellent inner bliss, one who enjoys, he is called Prahlada, Hiranyakashipu's son. Father is Hiranyakashipu, most crooked, wicked fellow, one who polluted every sphere of life. But his son, one who becomes the leader of that society, he spreads inner joy. Inner joy through what? Inner joy through education. That story we can read in Srimad Bhagavatam. Son is so kind-hearted, father is so crooked and wicked. These type of paradoxical things we come across there. But here one inner hidden formula is there, that as you eliminate that concept of Hiranyakashipu, you can see that the emergence of Prahlada. Now this is the time we must go for re-establishing that Prahlada culture, eliminating Hiranyakashipu culture. Hiranyakashipu is not a single person or some king or emperor or some time. No. Hiranyakashipu every time he continues in every society. In the same time, Prahladas also will continue to stay, to rule. But this struggle between Hiranyakashipu and Prahlada, Surasura, Yuddha, it also continues every time. But all good people, educated people, God-loving people must see that Prahlada emerges. Prahlada succeeds. If Hiranyakashipu succeeds, downfall of society starts. If Prahlada succeeds, there will be good society, healthy society. Yoga will be the dominating thing. In Prahlada kingdom, yoga is the real guiding principle. Now we are moving to that day, that kingdom, that sphere, that day, that age. So now we must see that Prahlada emerging and emerging. Just to make it happen, we must see that the Hiranyakashipu is eliminated, he is suppressed, he is kept away. That is the juncture period we are crossing through. So that while understanding all the significances attached to various festivals, we must understand these inner hidden feelings and symbols and messages. Yesterday only we could understand how that work culture it is nurtured in this land. Work is the name given to a culture. It is not for classification. No classification. We cannot have that type of class-based clashes. This society is not for that. Here, father becomes great rishi and son becomes very ordinary man. Or father becomes very, very ordinary karmika, but his own son becomes great dharmika. No special classification. So these are dharmikas and these are karmikas. No such classifications here in this land. It may be there in somewhere in Russia or Poland, Armenia. Yes. Oh, there what has happened? In German, everything happened. So much clashes. But here, that is what that much harmony it is maintained. Father is an ordinary man cultivating some piece of land, but his son becomes so highly talented and he comes up. He becomes a great master, great leader. That is the culture, inbuilt culture in this land. So that karmika day, shouting, hue and cry, it is not that one. Because this land, it is very much famous for harmony. It is not caste system here. Due to negatively charged Western inclination, all these struggles now going on. Mandal Commission, Kamandal Commission, like that, there are struggles every time. No. That was not the culture here inherited. Now India is very much influenced by many Makaras. Somewhere it is influenced by Macaulay, somewhere it is influenced by Marx. When that Western influence is so high, naturally the same thing we follow. Rain will be somewhere in Moscow, but some people, they immediately spread their umbrella here. What to do? If somewhere in Europe, London, or capital city of Russia, Moscow, if raining starts, is it necessary to have umbrella here? Or vice versa? That is why every land got its own culture, its own cultural ethos, its own heritages. Different things are there, we have to respect it. But this land, it is famous for harmony. Here there is no jati paddhati, it is only varna. Varna and ashrama. Varna is not for birth-based class, birth-based classification. No, varna is not for classification. That is why Krishna tells, clearly he told, it is guna karma vibhagasha. What quality he has, depending upon. Ravana, he was a great scholar, he studied so much, but his nature was bad, so that nobody respected him. He was considered as most demonic. But Hanuman, he came from tribal community. His capital city, Kishkinda, it was the capital city of tribal kingdom. He was highly respected. He was considered as God in this land. Guha, another devotee of Sri Rama, he established his own kingdom on the bank of Ganga river. They were all hunters and they were all drivers of navy. Rama respected them so with all sense of reverence. First thing he attended Guha's kingdom. There he educated those people. As soon as he left his capital city, the first visit it was to Guha's capital city on the bank of Ganga. That is what great role model our great Mahatmas they could project. So here in this land, we cannot go for birth-based classification. No. Sattva, guna is there, naturally his knowledge will be high, of high order. So that, and a person, one who cultivates, one who goes for other activities, he is highly respected. He is highly respected in this land. Nobody is lower on the basis of birth. Nobody is so higher because he came from some respectable family. No, his personal virtue, personal values, personal content, his personal quality, his personal achievement, these are the criteria to decide what man he is. It is not based on birth. Guna karma it is. So in this society there is no any separation. Some people they are karmika so lower, some people they are dharmika so higher. No. You can see this beautiful scene in Kerala. There one great Mahatma took birth. Narayana Guru, Swami Narayana Guru, he was a great Vedantin. He was a profound scholar in the Upanishads, taking that Upanishadic Advaitavada, he revolutionized the whole society. You can see in all temples in Kerala, they are great archakas there in those temples. In their family, if you see, nobody is there doing that duty. They were all very ordinary farmers and doing their own different Khandani Vidya. But from those families, now you can see all well-versed priests in different temples. And their quality is so high. Now you can see many priests in this Bangalore city, their quality is very low. Only money. But you can see those people doing their duties in different temples in Kerala, their quality, their mantra, their ucharana, their Sanskrit knowledge, everything is very much high. That is why we cannot go for any such classification. And first of all, we must know that karma is the real prana shakti of human journey. Without karma, there will be no dharma at all. So those who do karma, they are karmikas. Those who do dharma, they are dharmikas. No such classification. Those who are karmikas, they are dharmikas. Those who are dharmikas, they are karmikas. It's not something classified, structure in the society. Nothing. In that context, we must understand the society is like that. So, face is a lion, body it is human, and neither outside nor inside, nor in the day nor in the night, in that type of juncture period, all those Hiranyakashipu culture eliminated. That is why this multicultural structure, it is good also. There we cannot have any classification. We have to respect multicultural existence, societal existence. We have to respect. So now, yesterday it is Karmika Day, it is today Narasimha Jayanti. Let us pray to God to harmonize our society in the name of yoga now. In the name of caste, creed, religion, God, mode of worship, our whole society it is now classified. It is shattered into many pieces. Not good. Regional considerations, religious considerations, all these very dangerous because they divide the society. Now we are independent. India is independent country. We were blaming Britishers, divide and rule, they are adopting this policy. But our own politicians also doing the same thing, divide and rule. We must not go for that. Yoga is joining, not making divided. We have to harmonize the whole society. That is what projected by Sri Krishna Paramatma, Chaturvarnim Maya Srishtam Gunakarma Vibhagasha. This particular statement, it is for harmony, it is not for division. That we have to understand. Ooh.